Hey, John.
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Going well. How you doing?
Doing good. Dude, check it out. I found my first car.
This?
Yep. 1977, 5-speed. This thing had a manual choke. It was a blast to drive.
That's awesome. You were styling.
Yeah, no kidding. Actually, speaking of styling, did you see this rune over here?
I love the Rune. This is the coolest offshoot of the Gold Wing Honda ever built.
It's so bizarre to think this is an offshoot of a Gold Wing.
Right? With that front end. I mean, it's just Honda at the time flexing, like, this is what we can do with the Gold Wing.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I can't wait to check out the new ones. Let's go pick up our bikes.
Let's go ride. Ah, there it is. The reason we're here. The 50th anniversary Gold Wing.
It doesn't look a day over 49 to me.
No, it doesn't. I gotta admit, I really like the styling of this bike.
Yeah, I love what they did with it.
I love that they went back to the exposed exhaust pipes like the
Yeah.
first couple of years instead of being, encased in plastic.
Yeah, it reminds me of the 70s and into the 80s, but in a modern package. It's pretty cool.
Hey, Ryan.
Oh, hey, Tom.
Hey.
Hey, Tom.
How's it going?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Good. So you found the bike?
Yep.
Yep. This isn't the bike you're going to ride. Your bikes are in the shop, service shop down there. So I got a couple things to do. I'll meet you there. So you're going to go out this door, you go right and then a left, and you'll find the shop. The bikes are there. Dan's waiting for you. So.
Okay. Sounds good?
Yep.
See you there.
Thanks.
Is this where we're supposed to be,
I don't
John?
think this is where we're supposed to pick up the bikes. So what is this place?
I don't know for sure, but here's a green screen. Maybe they're going to green screen us onto a Gold Wing.
I don't know. I mean, they got C-stands. I'm seeing lighting gear. It looks like, what is this place? They definitely got all this stuff.
I don't know, man. What did we stumble across?
way. Look at this place. Well, I don't think this is all for us, but I hope so.
I don't know if this is what Ryan meant us to find as far as Gold Wings, but dude, this is like every Gold Wing ever.
It's like the history of the bike in under a
John,
no way.
this is the OG Gold Wing.
1975.
1975, man. Is that cool or
Unbelievable.
what?
This was the first Honda. A lot of firsts for Honda in this. They, fuel under the seat.
Yeah, down here.
Keep the weight low. It had liquid cooling. Was this the first Honda with liquid cooling?
I think so. Shaft drive. And all these components, though, what's cool is like it's carried on from every Gold Wing afterwards.
Yeah, ahead of its time.
Yes, this set the groundwork for all future Gold Wings.
So they kept that through subsequent models. We got the next one here, the 1980. This was the next major evolution.
Yeah, they went up to 1100 on this one.
5 years later, look at the difference. Full fairing.
Saddlebags, backrest. Yeah, much better passenger accommodations,
Complete
right?
with quilted leather, it looks like.
You gotta love it.
Unbelievable.
CB radio.
Of course, you need the CB radio.
Did not have Bluetooth back then.
No. Yeah, well, obviously not. Look at this. Integrated passenger rider.
Yeah, here's the rider up here.
Controlled by a vintage fighter jet looking green screen setup in the front.
Absolutely. But I mean, what a nice overall touring package, right? And then, I mean, from here, they went up to the 1200.
Yeah, this is the 84.
Yeah, 4 years later. Which, I mean, you figure only 4 years. I mean,
Wow.
Honda was really making big improvements, leaps and bounds in short periods of time.
Leaps and bounds. Tom, did you bring any cassettes?
No, I left those in my car. Sorry.
Dang it. That's amazing. Dolby stereo.
Cruise control.
Cruise control.
Yep.
Look at this. Compressor outlet valve, push on, air pressure control. That's insane. Integrated compressor. That's amazing.
So this particular one's the Aspencade model, which at that time had fuel injection. I don't think all the Gold Wings had it, but the Aspencade had fuel injection in 1984.
Wow.
Yeah, amazing.
I love the badging on it too. This is beautiful. And the leather covers for the storage compartment.
Right?
No, this is beautiful. 84 and then
88. 88, yeah. 1500, up to the 6-cylinder now from the 4.
And yeah, look at the difference between the first three we just looked at, how open they are, and then this one, they have the whole thing kind of wrapped now.
Yes, it's like so integrated.
Yeah.
And like, look at the improvement in even the passenger back here.
It almost feels like you've jumped to the modern era with this bike.
Yeah, even though it's 1988,
88.
I mean, it's still, you know,
Oh, wow, actually,
current.
look at this. Well, this model went a long time, 88, more than a decade, right? This is the 1 millionth motorcycle, July 26, 1996.
Dude, I wonder how many they've produced since then.
Wow, that's amazing.
Now check
So-
it out. Reverse.
Manual reverse.
Yeah, you had to pull up this lever
Oh,
to
wow.
get it into reverse.
Still got the same comm unit you used to have. So there's a lot of similarities, but it seems like your bike's kind of pushing the modern era now.
Absolutely.
But still have the air compressor over here, pressure control.
Yeah, the
just
cruise control's
upgraded.
still up there.
The
But I mean,
whole interface got a little cleaner. There's like less buttons on this one. It seems.
you know, back at this time though too, I mean, all of your Hurricanes and CBR 1000, they were all totally plastic wrapped.
Yeah,
so
okay.
it wasn't just the Gold Wing.
It was
I mean,
an
that was
era
just
for it.
Honda's thing
Yeah.
at that time. And then I guess that's the next one.
Yeah, now we're
right?
really modern.
So yeah, it's showing the aluminum perimeter frame more than, well, because that was a tubular steel. So yeah, they've totally upgraded the sportiness of this one.
I love the little touring features, this air dam and the windscreen. You've still got CB integration.
CB.
It looks like CD player.
Well, you know, the big upgrade from a cassette.
Oh wow, look at this manual headlight adjust. Yeah, definitely big upgrade from a cassette.
And they went up in displacement. This is like 1800 cc now from 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is a 2001. 5 years later, it was 2006? They introduced the airbag on this?
I think so.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Honda was one of the early adopters of that, right?
To my knowledge, they're the only one motorcycle with an airbag.
This is so incredible to see this whole collection here all at once. Do you think there's any keys in these things?
I'm not sure, but I'm willing to take a look.
I don't know, man. That door over there is pretty big. I think we can get one of these things out of here.
Ryan.
Hey, what are you guys doing in here?
Hey, Ryan.
We're supposed to pick up some bikes.
Is this not where we were supposed to be?
Hey, this is not the place. It's a closed studio.
There's Gold Wings here.
Yeah, it's a closed studio. I'm gonna have to get the floor repainted now. I have to reshoot this whole thing.
Dude, I'm
We
sorry.
were told there were burritos here.
Yeah.
No burritos. Come on, let me take you to the shop. Hey guys, this is the shop, and here's your bikes here.
This is the place we were supposed
this is
to
this
be.
place. Yeah.
I get the gold one.
I'm kind of digging the bagger. Look at this.
Okay, Ryan, can you help me with the wireless CarPlay, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Likely. So you come over here. Once you have it set up, it automatically connects. But for your first time, you just have to connect your headset and connect your phone, and then it'll automatically turn on and connect.
Okay.
So we'll do that here by going to settings, going to set up your headset.
Voila.
Good to go.
That's set up.
Enjoy your ride.
Will do.
LA doesn't look so bad from here.
No, it doesn't, but I'm glad to have it in our rear view mirrors. John, you and I have been kicking around the motorcycle industry for a lot of years, ridden a lot of different motorcycles. Here we are now with two 2025 Gold Wings. Honda gave it to us, to spend a bunch of miles aboard.
Yeah.
What's your takeaway so far?
I just love being back on a bike with a 7-speed DCT automatic. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, totally not fair. I mean, you have the DCT, and I'm riding the normal clutch, 6-speed. Not a complaint, but man, that DCT technology is really cool. And I mean, modes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we chatted about this a little bit earlier, like tour mode is kind of the default one. That's what the bike kind of starts up in. And that's what, if you're just riding it, I like tour. But it is very noticeable when you put this thing into sport.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh God, yeah.
And on the DCT, it like automatically drops 2 gears, brings the
100%.
revs up, and it really gets you down the road.
Yeah, no, especially like on twisties, it likes to hold those gears longer when you're in sport mode. And it was funny too, because 90% of the bikes I ride, it seems like I go straight to sport mode. That's what I like, because they're more fun that way usually. This bike though, maybe 6 cylinders, a lot of power, tour mode. I find myself using it all the time because it's actually so relaxing to ride. It wasn't until we got into some of these roads out here that it's like, all right, now I want sport mode. But the way it holds those gears so much higher and you get so much more power, it's so much more reactive, but that's a lot of bike to be reacting that aggressively and that nimbly on these roads.
I mean, and the nimbleness, it's just astounding. I mean, for anybody who's never ridden a Gold Wing, my God, just take one for a test ride sometime. It will blow you away, the performance of this thing. I mean, we're touching down foot pegs today, but the lean angle, though, is surprising.
Yeah. No, 100%. Like, obviously, the Gold Wing, well, not obviously, but the Gold Wing's kind of sometimes thought of as like an old man's bike, but getting it out onto these roads, and like you just pointed out, the lean angle, I'm going into these corners thinking I'm going to scrape pegs, and then eventually we would. But that point came way, way later than I thought it would.
But you can scrape a peg and it's still got more room to lean.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it'll still bend that peg up without touching anything hard down. And when you've got 800 pounds, give or take, and you're this far cranked over, you start to think like, wow, this is.
Yeah, you start worrying about your boots.
Right.
No, I was having a blast with it though.
Totally. The performance of the bike, in conjunction with it still being a Gold Wing. Like this morning, it was mid-50 temperatures. I've got, I think it's 5 levels of heated seat and 5 levels of heated grips, electronic windscreen, and I'm not wearing much. I mean, blue jeans, leather jacket, and, I've got the heat on with the big screen. I'm like, I am completely comfortable.
Totally, yeah.
Until it actually finally warmed up today.
Yeah, well, and I think that brings up a couple of the differences between these two too, because obviously you being on the big windscreen, full bagger, top case, all that, I think when we got to the coffee shop, you're asking about the heated seat, and I was, what are you talking about? And then we've realized that, okay, my version, I've got the 5 levels of heated grips.
And braking performance, I still can't get over, the 6-pot dual calipers that you have up here compared to, say older Gold Wings, especially, your original up through the 80s with these small little discs and small little brakes. I mean, God, these things are monsters.
Yeah, there was a couple situations dealing with some of the traffic here where we really got to sort of test that out.
Absolutely.
Another thing, it ties into the braking, is the front fork. I really like that design, that unique design of the front forks and how that responds to braking, avoiding fork dive, all that. I think it just made the bike so much more easy to ride super, super aggressively, getting on and off the brakes really hard in corners.
Yeah, I love, that you can just glance down and see this double wishbone kind of bouncing around. And then you realize like, oh my God, I'm just kind of floating over this stuff. Yeah. And, again, we've ridden a lot of bikes, so, BMWs and whatnot with this type of front. And it's weird if you haven't done it, but once you get accustomed to the front end, not diving like this normal fork does, you'll find, I think, it's much better, especially on a bike like this.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that hides the weight so well, too, because these are big, big bikes, but they don't handle like it. Like, I think because of the fork being able to, and well, all the suspension, but the fork in particular is that unique feature.
So one thing I love is that they've just gone to, wireless CarPlay for Apple or Android. I just love that you can, hook this up, turn it on. Yeah. You've got all your phone features there instead of having, Honda's own mapping system, which a lot of companies still do. I think a lot of people are comfortable using their own phone apps. And playing your music, I mean, if you get a text message, it'll read through just like it does in your car.
Totally, yeah.
It works wonderfully.
Not only that, it was the actual little storage compartment. It's maybe a minor thing, but I just love that little glove box thing there. The fact that you don't have to struggle to get your phone in, that the port is easy to access, like all those little things that sometimes kind of, every now and then you get a bike and it has all these features, but like just getting the thing into the port is difficult, or wedging your phone in there, or figuring out where to put the cable. I just like the fact that that was so easy on this one. Like little details like that, I think just sort of overemphasized all the amazing details. It just made for an overall better package.
And then, I mean, you don't have the top box, but still the storage capacity. Again, we're talking about performance, but yet you can still put, an entire week's worth of clothing and bath toiletries in this and go for a ride. And it still does what a Gold Wing was set out to do years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And even the little storage compartment on the right side where the fuel door button is, just little things like that, adding a few extra, I need a couple extra cables or an extra beanie or something like that.
Right.
Just little things that you can stuff in there. Things like that are just, I like the convenience. It makes it easier, makes it a better overall experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the other technologies that I really like, John, in addition to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, are cruise control. Yeah. I mean, you can't have a Gold Wing without cruise control, of course. Right? Yeah.
Well, it's got hill start assist.
Thank you. I was going to stumble on that. Yes.
Electric windscreen, both of them, although yours is like twice as big as mine, I think.
Right.
And smart key, which is another thing you have to have.
Oh yeah, instead of having your key up there with your fob dangling around, kind of smacking everything.
And we already talked about plenty of storage for your key, so you don't have to worry about pockets.
And then as far as like performance and getting these bikes to and from places, it's really good that you have reverse and a slow forward function, because even like right where they're parked right now, it'd be a little bit difficult getting these bikes out of certain situations without that technology.
But it's funny talking about that as a performance feature, unless we're going to do a slow speed race. But yes, I totally agree with you. It is pretty cool to have that creep mode, both reverse and forward.
Yeah, it's something you use more than you might think of.
100%, yeah. A bike like this, I found myself using especially the reverse all day today. Just every time now and then we get into a corner, even a situation like this right now, we got to slide uphill to get out of here. It's really cool to have. Yeah,
I found myself, doing the duck walk backward once. You're like, what am I doing?
Yeah, exactly.
I've got reverse. When we were talking about, the different modes you can ride in, what's amazing is the throttle by wire is very natural feeling.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times that technology can be a little bit, herky-jerky if they get it wrong. But I think Honda did really good with, making it feel normal, like a, cable throttle.
And one thing that surprised me about this bike is referencing a totally different bike, the Africa Twin, also with DCT. That bike had the selectable torque control, and they have applied that to this bike, which is surprising because it's a completely different animal, but they redesigned that feature to be tuned for the road, and it's pretty amazing to experience.
Well, considering the amount of torque this bike puts out, a necessary feature.
Yeah, absolutely.
Part of that, goes back to the original Gold Wing, right? Fuel tank underneath the seat. Yeah. It's not located up high. So you think of how many gallons, 6 pounds per gallon of fuel?
Yeah.
All that is down low. So, that's a big contributor to this bike's ability to maneuver. And, we've had to do a few U-turns, and parking lot maneuvers, throughout our time riding. And again, even at a slow speed, even with, this is where DCT is amazing.
Yeah.
Is because you can do a super slow parking lot maneuver with DCT.
Not worry about a clutch.
Right, and it handles it, because usually, you're doing some clutch slippage, and it does fine with that.
And just being able to twitch the throttle and have it correct and move around like you want, it's an amazing feeling.
It is, and what's I think cool is Honda has made this bike gone from its couch on two wheels persona from years ago when they went to the perimeter frame, giving it that more sport bike essence, which is I think a big contributor to its ability to do these fast canyon riding that we're doing today.
I think even like the tank you referenced earlier, that all this, everything we're talking about, it kind of points to how sort of ahead of the curve this bike always seems to have been, from the early days, and now we're experiencing X number of years of development that's led to this thing.
So as far as being a long distance bike, and like cruise control they've had for years, but it makes traveling long distances so much easier.
Yeah.
I don't know, have you ever done an iron butt?
Several, actually.
Really?
And my first one was actually to give you the context of how amazing this bike is. First iron butt was from here in LA to Cabo San Lucas on a KTM 950. I had to do 1,300 miles in less than 24 hours for photo. Yeah, that's not a bike you want to do that on. This, however, is a totally different animal. What I noticed for me is the little things. That little, I don't even know what the feature's called, but the little air dam thing that goes on the dash that breaks up the wind.
Sure.
So you move the windscreen up and down, and it definitely reduces airflow, but you find that level of buffeting you're happy with. Pop that thing open, it completely changes how the air is broken up in front of you, can direct more or less to your chest. Like, these little tiny refinements make for a huge difference when you're talking about multiple hundreds of miles in a day.
No, absolutely. And when you're going for 24 hours, right? I mean, you can't stop because, it got cold out.
Watching the sun go up and down.
That's where the heated seat comes in,
Exactly.
the heated grips come in, and then you raise up the windscreen, and then you can keep traveling through the night. I mean, it's a modern day, miracle.
Oh, 100%. It totally beats pulling over on the side of the road, suffering and having a Red Bull and hoping for the best.
Right.
Ready to get back on the road?
Absolutely.
Tired of sitting here, walking.
A little slow race out of here.
I think so.
Out first, because the way you're angled, I always straighten my bike so I can get out of the way of you.